Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. Today is bipod review day. Now these are the Kalu, I guess you call them. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's K-L-A-U. They go from 6 to 9 inches, so they're telescoping bipods with spring-loaded legs. Now, they only have like a short spring here, so if you face them downward, it's a lot easier for them to fully extend. And then they lock right up. Now you have also 5 different positions for these as well on each leg, so you can custom tailor the height to what you need. I find that fully extended on the table, they actually work the best. As far as prone position, it's kind of where you want to be at. You could have them extended all the way if you needed to, or you could lower them right down to the bottom. It's kind of up to you. They fold up easy out of the way as well. On a spring rifle, you have just enough room when they are fully extended to actually still cock your gun. So that's not a big problem. When they're totally collapsed, of course, they are definitely going to be completely out of your way, so that's not a problem either. You can leave the bipod on and actually use the bipod as some extra wide support too, which is kind of handy. So you can just, shoot standing up or whatever you want to do type of thing. Now, if your gun prefers an artillery hold to it, you'd probably want to have them down for freestanding, or just take the bipod right off. It will unscrew from the swivel mount. It does have that as well. You can take the entire plate off, and the swivel mount stud actually is part of the main mount. Okay, so you remove everything, you just leave your Picatinny / Weaver rail behind. Okay, mounting it on spring rifles is going to depend on whether you have a synthetic stock, a wood stock. As far as the thickness goes, location is the tricky spot on any of these rifles that are a break barrel design, because you have to be in the thicker, meatier area. And I found with the Benjamin Classic 22 here that you've got to be about 2 inches in from this little area in here from the divider, and that's actually a perfect spot. There's lots of meat there. You can go up to a 1-inch screw. I went with 3/4 inch screws actually for mounting all my bipods. I have 3 of these things. But this is the only the crack barrel or break barrel rifle that I've mounted one on. My nitro gun won't support one of these things, not just because it's a synthetic stock, but also because of the design of it and how far in they've put the slit, but also they've put this rounded part here, so there's really nowhere to mount this style of bipod. Now there are bipods you may be able to mount, but this particular style and kit, no. Now my QB78, this is my 22 caliber model. Same exact bipod on here, mounted much more closer because this is a CO2 gun. Very, very thick wood stock. You could easily use 1-inch screws. Again, I went 3/4 inch, which are more than adequate enough, and they're a thicker screw. They don't just drop right in, okay, to the holes. You actually have to turn them a little bit to get them into the holes. I wanted something that had some meat on the screw as well, so that's also very important. Also making sure that the head on your screw, whether it's a star tip or flat blade, whichever you're using, you've got to make sure that it's more than large enough diameter to accommodate the countersunk hole in the Weaver / Picatinny rail mount. Okay, by going more up forward, this is great because whether the legs are up or down, I can shoot and very comfortably in here. This is my normal holding position anyways for this rifle when I'm going to stand up and shoot. Either way, for bench shooting, on the table or bench, perfect with the legs fully extended to the 9-inch length, which works out just great. These things are a little tricky when it comes to recollapsing them, but you're going to find that in many different bipods. You know, if you find that this is starting to loosen a bit, you can just snug the screw back up and it locks it up even tighter. So there is going to be absolutely no movement there at all, because you don't want side to side play when you're trying to line up your target. You know, the most important thing is you're up and down. You don't want any of this sort of jiggly stuff going on. So these do secure lock, so they will not move on you, which is really awesome. And as far as being steady, stationary, and lined up well, they do the trick really, really good. $31.99 on Amazon.ca. The link will be in the video description below. Now, as far as the build quality goes, I find these things are exceedingly good. They're all steel. They've got very strong springs on them. So these things are going to last you for like years, you know. I read reviews online where people are actually using these on normal firearms as well, and some pretty heavy duty rifles, and they've had zero issues with these things. They're loving them, especially for $31.99. I mean, and that's Canadian dollars. So in the US, you guys are going to have them even cheaper. You know, do check them out. They're very good quality. I was looking at bipods on regular air gun stores and seeing what they had there and the prices, and I was like, oh, no way. I am not spending that kind of money, even on an air rifle. Like, forget it. Even if I had a, you know, $3,000 air rifle, there's no way I'm spending that kind of money on a bipod when I can get a clone of it even for far, far less. I was actually looking at an Atlas bipod, I believe it's called, and it was like $300. And then I saw the exact same one on Amazon, exactly the same. I compared the pictures side by side for feature to feature, build quality, appearance from what I was seeing in the picture, and I'm like, $50? Yeah, I'd be in on that for $50 in a heartbeat. Like, take my money, but not for $300. It's ridiculous. You can get a lot of these aftermarket made pieces for far less money, and they are the equivalent quality to the really expensive ones that just have a name tag on them. But you know what? Some people are very anal when it comes to the whole name tag thing, and I get that, okay? People think that, you know, if it has a name attached to it, it's marked in there, that's a quality piece of equipment. That is actually so false, okay? I get it, but it is also false. It doesn't always work that way. Just because it costs more doesn't always mean it's going to be better, you know? That's the thing. I mean, you look at even an air rifle like this. This is the Benjamin Classic 22. Now, yes, it's a non-PAL air gun in Canada, but this thing has plenty of punch power to it. The build quality is no different than what they would do in a PAL version of the same gun. It's exactly the same, you know, and the price point, it'd probably be a couple of dollars more money for a PAL version of it, but why not just buy the non-PAL version, you know, if that's all you need, you know, type of thing. I mean, the one thing that kind of irks me about a lot of spring rifles is you can't cock them and safety decock them. This is one of them. You can't safety decock it, so once you cock it, you have to fire it. But anyways, getting away from that, these bipods are extremely well built. For $32, they are extremely well built. They are made out of steel. They are quality. You don't have to be afraid of them. They are definitely going to do the job. And if guys are trusting these things on regular firearms that they're shooting, heavy duty ones too, I would say they're definitely a really good buy, you know, because there are a lot of people out there that are picky, but some people also that are picky, even me, I like to try cheaper priced products just to see if they are any good. My first one I bought was actually this Gency, and the Gency, I'll make it part of this review too. This is exactly identical, except the leg length here on this portion of the leg here is a little bit longer than the clow, and it seems like it's maybe a pinch thicker, but otherwise, I mean, even with the clow, you know, that's not going to make any difference. It's just a little bit shorter, and it's a little tiny bit thinner in diameter in this area, but it's still all steel. I've checked this out. It's all steel. So that's a good sign. You know, the same springs, the same release system, same everything else, and yet this one here costs $5 more. You know, and it's like, okay, are we really getting that much more for $5 more? I really don't know. Time will, of course, tell, like anything else. But I think that even at $32, how can you go wrong? You know, and you guys know that I am a pretty picky person, especially when it comes to the whole quality thing. I like to have quality stuff too. I just don't want to break the bank, you know, and this is not going to break the bank. That's for darn sure. So do check these out. The link for Amazon.ca at least will be in the video description below. You can actually click on that link, copy paste the title, whatever you need to get to the Amazon.com, or just go to Amazon.com, type in bipods, look for the same bipod from the same company. Way you go. They even give you a really cool carrot potato peeler thing with it. I don't know why. Maybe it's to keep that name in front of you. So you get like one of those things in each box. I've ordered 3, so I got 3 of them. Well, my wife has them actually. But I guess it's a great way to, you know, like shred up some carrots or something for your small game you're going after, and, you know, whatever, you know, so you can have that with you on the fly and eat a piece of fruit. I don't know. But it's kind of a neat thing. But they did get to me rather quickly too, which was also another bonus. This is handled by, fulfilled by Amazon, so getting it quicker is actually something that's definitely going to happen when you buy stuff that's sold and handled by Amazon themselves. So that was kind of nice. So that was great. So yeah, for under $100, I got 3 of them, and I can't say anything really bad about them. The only thing that I would really be a little bit picky on is, let's say we're holding the gun like this, and we eject the leg. It's such a rebound thrust, right? Such a forward thrust. It'll actually bring it back in a little bit. So, you know, you have to just do that. If you're in a straight down position, which is what most guys would be doing anyways, to extend them, then you're fine, no problem, and we're ready to rock and roll, okay? But holding them at an angle like that, you would have to expect that sort of thing. But good positive, strong lockup with the springs, so that's also very good. You know, you can back this off a little bit, add a bit of flex if you needed it, or snug it right up super tight. You know, you don't have to really reef the daylights out of it. Now you've got absolutely zero movement, so that's great too. You can actually remove the bipod and leave the mount and the swivel stud behind on your rail attachment. Now the rail attachments too, I will also leave a link to in the video description below, so that you can pick these rails if you want them. It's up to you. I found that for the money, they were the best selectionable kit. They came with different length rails, as well as all the mounting hardware. So if you're looking at, you want to add on some extra rails, why buy just one for a certain price when you can get a pack of 3 for basically the same price, or maybe $2 more, and you get a pack of 3 of them. You get all your mounting screws and stuff. Now the mounting screws to go into your gun, I mean, if you're putting this on like an air rifle like this, whether it's wood stock, synthetic stock, or the QB, whatever, you're going to have to get your own wood screws for that, which any hardware store, it's going to cost you like a couple of pennies, and you can pick up some wood screws. You might even have some in your collection like I did. I've got tons and tons of screws out in the shop, and I found ones that were all the same, they all matched, and you know, I went with the 3/4 inch length. I found that was the best. When you're mounting onto a rifle stock, especially a break barrel, you're gonna want to know where your thickest meat on that stock starts. Pre-drill the holes first. Whatever screw diameter you use, I would try and get the most meaty screws you can that still fit in the holes of the Weaver Picatinny mount. Make sure they fit properly, and that the head on the screw is big enough that, you know, even with pressure, it's not going to, like, you know, rip through, you know, type of thing. So make sure of that as well, that you got proper diametered screws. I pre-drilled the holes. It was like one drill bit above the 16th. I think it was like a 3/32 or something like that. It was in my drill kit. It goes in an order, like from a 16th to the next one to the next one, and it was the one after the 16th, and I used it and it worked great. Pre-drilling the holes is definitely going to avoid you splitting the wood. That's for darn sure. So you're going to want to pre-drill those holes no matter what, and away you go. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now for this particular gun, where the bipod mounts, you can still hold the gun freestanding with the bipod still attached. I actually find that quite comfortable, to be honest, and it keeps it at a nicer level, so I'm not, so far up, right? And it actually feels like it's lightens up the weight of the rifle, even though the rifle weight has not changed. It feels actually a little bit lighter this way and more comfortable to hold. But certainly you could put the bipod down, you can hold it up here. You can still do your artillery hold, but the legs have to be down for that, just because they take up a little bit. Well, I don't know. You could probably get away with artillery hold this way. Some rifles, especially Springers and Nitros, need an artillery hold, where others you can just wrap your hand around the stock kind of thing. Depends on the rifle, depends on the power level of the rifle, how it's going to react. That's a whole other video though, but just a little bit of info for you so that you know in advance. But yeah, do check them out, and if you like what you see and the specs. Now these also include a limited 1-year manufacturer's warranty too against defects. And what else do they say on here? That's pretty much about the basics. You guys can read the entire ad yourself. But it comes with everything except the actual Picatinny or Weaver mount. And it doesn't, of course, come with any screws, other than the included stuff in the picture. So what you see in the picture is what comes with it, okay? And so you don't have to worry about it. Not all bipods, because there are bipods that will look identical to this that don't even come with this mount, right? So it's kind of like, well, how do you want to mount it to the gun, right? If you have a swivel stud already, then all you need is a bipod like this without the mount. So look for one of those. Maybe you'll save a couple of dollars, who knows? Having the ability to have this mount here means that you can also put on a Weaver mount or Picatinny mount, and away you go, lock and load. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope I got enough information out there for you, but if you do have questions, do feel free to ask. And as always, I will do the best I can to answer those questions for you, and stay tuned for more. See ya.